2 dinners this week, same city, same you, and at both, somewhere between the menu and the bill, you did the math you do at 2 in the morning. How many good years are left and whether you get to spend them on this. At the first table, a woman of 25. Lovely, polite, and by 9 o'clock you still can't tell what she wants. At the second table, a woman of 45. She read the menu for 4 seconds and told the waiter, the grilled one and rice. He's still reading. 10 minutes in, you know exactly where you stand. Here's the whole video in one sentence. Everything a 25-year-old makes you chase, a 45-year-old hands you at the door. 6 reasons men who marry a Filipina over 40 never come back and say they settled. I count all 6 out loud, and I finish the count. Number 4 is the one nobody says out loud. Stay for it. And at the end, one question, 6 words long. A woman over 40 asks it on a first date. A girl of 25 never will. Miss it and you lose a year. I'm Liza. I'm a Filipina in my 40s, 15 years behind a hotel front desk in Cebu, watching foreign men arrive with a plan and leave with a different one. Names are changed. Some of this is stitched together from years of watching. If you're that man, subscribe. This channel is for you. Now come and sit down. Close the door. Huh? Too soon? One rule before we start. I'm not ranking women. I'm ranking what happens to your calendar, your money, and your evenings. Nobody gets taken away from you tonight. You just choose which table to sit at. Say? 6 reasons. Here's number 1. Number 1, she already knows the road. Let me put you on a street just off Mango Avenue on a Friday, 7 in the evening. This is the part you clicked for, and I'm not going to make you wait 20 minutes for it. You're standing outside a small grill place with your shirt tucked in, expecting to be the one arranging things. The car, the driver, the door. Instead, a scooter pulls up to the curb. Blue helmet. No hurry in her at all. One hand already back on the seat, flipping it up for you. She's 45. She looks at you, tips her head at the space behind her and says one word. Kapiot. Hold on to me? So you do? And here's what you notice in the first 2 minutes. Nothing about that trip is jerky. She doesn't race the jeepney at the light. She doesn't brake hard because a tricycle surprised her. She goes wide around the 2 potholes near the corner before you've even seen them because she's been taking this road since before that corner had a coffee shop. 20 minutes across town and your shoulders never once come up to your ears. At the table, she puts the helmet down next to her plate. That's her handbag, her jewelry, and her whole opening statement. One blue helmet on a plastic table. And then she says this, I'm giving it to you word for word because a woman of 25 couldn't say it if you paid her. At my age, I don't waste gas going in circles, I drive smooth, I arrive on time, and I don't leave with strangers. Now let me translate because this part is about you. That is not a compliment she gives herself, that is a warranty. I told you at the start that a 45-year-old hands you things at the door. There it is, literally, the seat handed to you before you asked, and the terms of the whole evening in one sentence before the food came. Why does one blue helmet on a table tell you more than a whole evening of charm? 20 years of decisions. That's what makes a person drive like that. Between 25 and 45, a woman here buries somebody, raises somebody, gets left or gets widowed, pays a hospital bill in installments, learns which streets flood in August. Every one of those years took something out of her and out of the guessing. Most men get this backwards on the first night. He sees the scooter, the helmet, the plan, and something in him goes tight. So he performs, he upgrades the restaurant, he books a car nobody asked for, he takes the menu out of her hands because that's what a man does apparently. She wasn't asking you to drive, she was offering you a seat. Here's your rule and it fits on a napkin. Let her pick the road the first night. Your test, call it the 4-second test, and you can run it tonight in a text message for free. Ask her to choose where you eat. A woman of 45 names a place in about 4 seconds and she attaches a reason to it. The one near the church, parking is easier. A woman who's still building her own road sends the question back to you. Neither one is a crime. But only one of them already knows where she's going and now you can tell which is which before you've spent a single peso. And she paid for her own gas that night, which is where you meet. Reason number 2. Number 2 has a number in it. Number 2, she pays for her own things. Come to Carbon Market with me on a Tuesday morning to a woman I have known for 11 years. She's 46. Her sewing stall is the size of a closet. One One machine, one stool, one cookie tin with the money in it. Let me count her day out loud because the number is the whole point. A hem is 40 pesos, a zipper is 60, slow day 20 pieces, market day 35. Call it 1,000 pesos a day, 6 days a week, 24,000 pesos a month, about $400 out of a closet. Her stall rent is 350 pesos paid every single morning before she sews anything. Her son's tuition is due in April and she starts dropping money into that tin in November. Last year, a foreigner started coming around, 63 decent man, genuinely kind, and on their third meeting, he said the sentence men in his position say all over this country. He said it as a gift. You don't have to work anymore. She called me that night, and what she said is about you, not about him. She wasn't flattered. She said he wanted to buy the machine so he could turn it off. Now, the mechanism, and it's structural, not romantic. At 25, a woman's income is still being put together. A job here, a cousin's business there, something that might work out. Your money lands in the middle of that and changes its shape. At 45, we're not putting an income together anymore. We have one. Her own column in the notebook, 20 years of it. The tin has November in it, so she's not looking for a wallet. She has one. What she's short of is the thing a wallet can't buy, and you're walking around carrying a lot of it without even noticing. Steadiness. A week that starts at the same hour whether you feel like it or not. Nothing left to prove to anybody. You've been carrying that for 30 years and calling it boring. It took my friend Thomas 11 years to figure that out. I'll come back to him. Your rule, do not close her shop. Ask what she is building. Your test, the fair test, and it costs you nothing. Offer to cover one small thing she already handles, the load on her phone, her fare home, then just watch. One woman says thank you and the evening moves on, another hands the money straight back. The fare is mine, I have it. And a third turns it into a standing arrangement by Thursday, without either of you ever agreeing to it out loud. All three exist everywhere, including your own country. The difference is that at 45, you find out which one you're sitting with in the first week and not in the first year. So you get a partner with her own tin, her own April, her own column, the whole ledger handed to you at the door. And you choose what the two of you build on top of it, instead of quietly becoming the floor she's standing on, which puts you in front of number 3, and number 3 hands you back time. Number 3, she says no in a whole sentence. Coffee place in IT Park, late afternoon, your phone face up on the table between you. You've just asked her about Sunday. A woman of 25, if she doesn't want Sunday, will usually say maybe, and then go quiet in a way that's extremely polite and extremely expensive. Not because she's cruel, saying no to a man's face is a skill, and at 25, nobody's made her practice it yet. Here's what a woman of 45 says instead. Word for word. Not Sunday. Sunday is my mother's. Market, then I sleep. Tuesday 6 o'clock, and I have to be home by 9 because I open at 6:30. Count what that sentence just did for you. A day, a time, an end time, a reason. 4 pieces of information in 11 seconds, and not one of them cost you anything to find out. Now count the other version. I know 3 men in Cebu who each spent about 5 months sitting on a maybe. Month 1, maybe. Month 3, still maybe. Month 5, he stopped asking and told himself it was mutual. 3 men, 5 months each, 15 months of a man's life, and not one of them was ever actually told no. They just aged. The mechanism is simple. At 45, no costs her nothing. She's already said no to bigger things than your Sunday, to a job, to a house, to a relative asking for money she didn't have. We're not blunt here. We're just done spending a year on a maybe. Here's where men read it wrong. They hear directness as coldness. She said no to Sunday, so she must not be interested. Wrong, she gave you Tuesday. Nobody hands a Tuesday to a man she's not interested in. Sunday is her family, Tuesday is her actual life, and she just put you inside it. The right move isn't clever at all. Put Tuesday in your calendar and stop negotiating Sunday. Your rule, a maybe costs you 5 months, a no costs you 5 seconds. Take the no. Your test, the 1-day test. Ask to move your date by 1 day. A woman with a finished life answers inside the hour and tells you why. Cannot do Thursday, my sister uses the shop. A woman still drafting hers writes, I'll let you know, and then the week goes quiet. Just information you got in 1 hour instead of 5 months, okay? So you stop paying rent on the word maybe, you get a real answer, and you decide what to do with the Tuesday she just handed you. And that habit of hers, telling you instead of letting you guess, does not stop when the plates are cleared. Number 4 is where it goes next. This is the one nobody says out loud. This is the one you stayed for. Number 4, she does not make you guess. The plates are done. The street outside has gone quiet. The tricycles have stopped running. Somebody's dog has finally given up. You're 68 years old and you're standing in a room with a ceiling fan and a light switch by the door. This is the part of the night where men your age have spent entire marriages guessing. How many years of your life have gone into reading a face in the dark? Not the evening itself, the guessing, trying to figure out from the way she folded a towel whether you got something right in there or something wrong. 30 years of a grown man quietly gathering evidence like a detective who's never going to be told the answer. At 25, she'll let you keep guessing, and she might let you guess wrong for a long time. Not out of cruelty, she's still learning her own answer, and correcting a man costs her something she's not ready to spend. So she manages you instead, politely, beautifully, silently. A woman at 45 does not ask you to guess. She tells you once in the same flat, friendly voice she used to order the food, and she does not apologize for the light being on. Vai ho ki chi din phot saki to jin. Look at the floor of that room, by the way. There's a second fan down there. 1,200 pesos, about $20, and she bought it herself because she runs warm and men her age run cold. Somewhere around 40, she decided this wasn't worth 3 years of 2 adults flipping a switch on and off behind each other's backs. That's the whole thing, sitting on the floor in plastic. 1 sentence and 1 fan, 1,200 pesos instead of 3 years. And when she does tell you, it sounds like nothing at all. Not the ceiling one, the floor one, and pointed at me. 12 words. No argument, no sulking, no 11 years of quietly getting it wrong. And I want to be careful here because this is where men over 60 get sold a fantasy. Nobody's promising you a woman who reads your mind. We're not mysterious here. We're tired of being misread. She'll tell you what she likes about the evening, what she doesn't, and what she's never doing again for anybody. You might not enjoy every item on that list. You'll never wonder what's on it. Your rule. Guessing is what you do with a girl. Being told is what you get from a woman. Your test, the fan test, and you can run it fully dressed in any room tonight. Say out loud that you're cold. Just that. Watch whether she moves the fan or moves the subject. A woman who moves the subject will manage you for years, and you'll never once know what she actually wanted. A woman who moves the fan has just shown you how the whole rest of it is going to work. So you stop guessing. You get told the answer handed to you at the door instead of 30 years of gathering evidence. And a man who gets told is a man who can actually deliver, which means you get to be good at this on purpose at 68, maybe for the first time in your life. That's not bedroom advice, that's arithmetic. 1 sentence instead of 3 years. 4 behind you now. The road, the tin, the no, the light. Every one of them is something she finished arguing with herself about years ago, and you get the result of that argument for free. If this has already saved you a season of your life, like the video, subscribe, the checklist is in the description. That's the last time I ask. Move your chair in. 2 reasons left and you're still holding the question I gave you at the start. Number 6 is where you put it down. Number 5 first. Number 5 is the one my friend Thomas got wrong and I've never told him I noticed. Number 5, her life is already built. You join it, you do not fund it. So, my friend Thomas, he is 70, 12 years in Cebu. A few weeks ago, he had dinner with a widow of 45. He suggested a place by the water. She suggested a grill place in Mandao instead, and she told him why out loud. It's closer to her house. Fine, her call. She arrived alone on her own scooter, put the helmet on the table beside her plate and left it there all evening. She ordered without checking his face, then read 2 things off the menu for him and waited. Somewhere in the middle, she told him about her life without being asked. 9 years running a small laundry shop, doors open at 6:30 in the morning. The bill comes 640 pesos, $11. Thomas pays as men here do, and then she puts 120 pesos on the table. Ako na, she says. I have it. You got the food. The gas is mine. He slid it back. She didn't pick it up and she didn't argue. It sat there between the plates until he took it. You would have slid it back too. Then he said, let's do this Sunday. And she turned her phone around so he could see the screen and said, my Sundays are already full. If you want one, ask me 2 weeks ahead. Thomas told me it was the calmest dinner he's had in 12 years and that he walked away with no idea whether he'd passed. He read that calendar as a rejection. It wasn't. It was a price list said out loud by a woman with nothing to hide about her own week. Count it with me. 4 Sundays in a month. 3 of them already have owners. A mother, the shop, something that went on the calendar back in March. One is available 2 weeks out and she'll confirm 3 days before because that's how a person with a real life makes a plan. That's what settled means, and this is where men over 60 get hurt without needing to. A woman at 25 might have room for you tomorrow, and men read that as enthusiasm. Often it's just space. At 45 there's less room and more roof, a shop that opens whether she feels like it or not. You're not being asked to build her a house, you're asking for a seat in a house that's already standing, already paid for, already warm. Your rule, an empty calendar is space, a full calendar is a life. You are asking for a seat in the second one. Your test, the 2-week Sunday. Ask for a Sunday 2 weeks out. A woman with a finished life checks a calendar. A woman who checks her mood will check it again next week and get a different answer. And if the window never comes, not in 2 weeks, not in 2 months, and the 2 weeks keep sliding, that's not a busy life. That's a closed door with a polite sign on it. So you get a woman whose week doesn't fall over when you're not in it. And you choose whether there's room on that seat for you. A far better question than whether there's room in her budget, which leaves number 6. And number 6 is where you collect the question I promised you at the start. Number 6, she picks you awake. A friend of mine, 47, works at a dental clinic near Banilat, went on a second date last year with an American of 66. Nervous man, whole plan ready, Bohol, the beach, the boat. He was 4 sentences into the itinerary when she stopped him and asked what his ordinary week looked like. He thought she was being modest. She wasn't being modest. She was interviewing him and she was the one running the interview. Afterward, she gave me the line I've been using ever since. A trip I can survive. A Tuesday I have to like. Here's the math she was doing at that table, and you can do it tonight on the back of an envelope. You'll spend, 14 days a year on vacation together, somewhere around there. The other 351 days are Tuesdays. The pharmacy at 9. The aircon guy who says he's coming and doesn't come. The 60 peso bag of something on the way home. At 25, a woman buys the trip. Not because she's shallow. At 25, the future is still a picture and pictures are made of trips. At 45, she's lived several thousand Tuesdays and knows exactly which ones broke her, so she buys the Tuesday. This is what I keep seeing in the women I know. She's not asking what you can give her. She's asking what it's like to be near you when nothing special is happening, and this is where men lose women they could have kept. He answers a real question with a sales pitch. You'll never have to worry about anything again. She hears that and thinks, this man doesn't know what my Wednesday costs and he hasn't told me one true thing about his own. The right answer is boring and it works. You answer with a schedule. I wake at 6:40 whether I want to or not. Coffee, I walk to the bakery and back because my knee needs it. Fridays, pharmacy at 9. I call my daughter on Sundays, she calls me back on Mondays. Evenings, I'm on the laptop by 8 and I'm useless after 10. 6 sentences of true ordinary life, and then watch what she does with it. If she comes back with a second question about one small detail in there, the knee, the daughter, the bakery, she's not being polite. She's measuring the doorway to see whether her furniture fits. Your rule, answer a real question with a schedule, not a brochure. So you get chosen by a woman who did the arithmetic with her eyes open, and that's the only kind of choosing that survives a bad month, a bad year, and a bad knee. Which brings us to the question. Remember the question I promised you at the start. Here it is, the morning question. What do your mornings look like? 6 words, that's the whole thing. A girl of 25 asks you what your plans are for her. A woman of 45 asks you what your mornings look like because she's not admiring your life from the outside. She's deciding whether to walk into it. Inside those 6 words, she's asking, what time do you get up? Who makes the coffee? Where do you go at 9 o'clock? Who calls you on a Sunday? And how much of your day already has somebody else's name on it? If she likes the answer, she's picturing herself inside it before the week is out. And that's exactly why it's the last reason on the list. Everything else tonight was something she brings you. This one is something she checks in you, awake, on purpose, with her eyes open. Watch the first half second after you finish. Curiosity looks like a question. Calculation looks like a pause. And here's the question you haven't said out loud. Why is she still available at 45? Say it. A man your age is allowed to ask it. The answer is usually boring. She was somebody's wife, and then she wasn't, and then she had a shop to open at 6:30. Nobody left her on a shelf. She got busy. Now the bill. It's real. A woman of 45 comes with adults attached. Her adults will have opinions about you. Yours will have opinions about her. Sometimes an ex-husband still in the picture, not romantically, but at baptisms and funerals because they share people. If that's going to eat you alive, better you know now than in year 2. And her life won't move for you the way a 25-year-old's can. She's not relocating in 3 weeks, and she might not want to start over on the wedding, the baby, the mortgage. She's got edges, and some of them aren't getting sanded down. Here's the part nobody says out loud. Settled is not the same as stalled. You've got the closed calendar already, the 2-week Sunday. 2 more signs, both visible inside the first month. 1. Every second conversation ends up at somebody's bill, and the money only travels one way. 45 doesn't mean debt-free. Watch the direction, not the amount. 2. She never describes a future of her own in her own words, only in yours. A finished woman has plans that have nothing to do with you. The second machine, the extra room, her sister's place in BOGO. If everything she wants starts existing the moment you appear, you're being handed a blank life to pay for. That's tati wali nito. And the obvious one, true at every age. There are women who are shopping and they're 45 as often as 25. 10 years older doesn't mean 10 years more honest. 45 is not a medal, it's just time she had. What she did with it, you have to find out. You're not the one being graded here, by the way. You're the one holding the list. You clicked for the ride. What she is actually selling is the road. No circles, no drama, a finished woman who knows where she is going, and the whole thing handed to you at the door with room on the seat for you. Not the cheap thing you were thinking about at 7 o'clock this evening, the expensive one. Here's what that means. Starting this week, you get back the year you were about to spend guessing. You get evenings that begin where your old ones used to end. You get a woman who states the terms in one sentence and then keeps them. And one thing nobody says to a man your age, so I will. Wanting somebody to be glad you walked in is not weakness and not a late life embarrassment. Your children may call this a phase. They're not wrong about the danger and completely wrong about you. And they're not the ones eating alone on a Tuesday. The wanting was never the mistake. The only mistake is spending another year finding out the slow way whether the woman across the table wants it too. 5 things and they cost you nothing. Ask her to choose the place, offer her fare, move the date one day, say you're cold, ask for a Sunday 2 weeks out. 5 answers 1 week, not 1 peso spent. Say it. So here's the one thing to do. On your next first date, in the first 10 minutes, not at the end, ask her, what do your mornings look like? Then say nothing for 20 seconds and let her fill it. Everything I told you tonight will be somewhere in her answer. Thomas is still waiting on a Sunday 2 weeks out. You'll read that calendar faster than he did. Next time, why the message sitting in your inbox right now might be completely real, and the 3 words in it that